Hey there and welcome to my channel. Over the past few years, I've built 2 six-figure businesses, and the business that I currently run, Startup Society, is projected to hit $1 million in revenue next year. But I don't say this to brag. I say this to tell you that these books I'm going to share with you are amazing because I don't have any sort of formal business degree. I never went to business school. I don't have an MBA, and I wasn't formally trained. Pretty much everything that I learned about business, I learned from these books and some online courses that I took. These books are my top recommendations for books that you should read if you want to build your own successful business in this day and age. So, without further ado, let's get on in and take a look at what these books are. Alright, the first book on my list is called Rocket Fuel. It's by Gino Wickman and Mark C. Winters, and it says, the one essential combination that will get you more of what you want from your business. I read this book relatively recently as my company was starting to grow very dramatically, and I knew that we needed to make some changes in order to be able to really take it to the next level and do so successfully. Not just make more money, but make more money in a way that was sustainable so that we could continue to grow. We needed to create a firm foundation. This book is all about hiring someone to be your right-hand man or your right-hand woman, to be the person who helps you implement the grand ideas in your mind. I read this book and I immediately went out and hired such a person, and it has changed my business in so many ways. I love books that tell you to do something specific and tell you exactly how to do it so that you can actually put it into action and get results from it. Okay, let's move on and talk about the next book. This book is by the same man, which is why I am talking about them back to back. It's called Traction. It's by Gino Wickman also, and its subtitle is Get a Grip on Your Business. This book is a little dry and tedious, but it is so valuable. What it is a system for how to successfully run a business, how to keep your business organized and running like a well-oiled machine. This isn't the first book that I've read on such a topic, but it is the best one that I read. Personally, I'm someone who is always having a lot of ideas, which can make my business get really messy really quickly. But this book helped us sort everything out and get things more streamlined so that we could focus on moving forward instead of just trying to clean up the messes that I was constantly making. So again, highly recommend. All right, next on my stack here is this book called Building a Story Brand. This book is by a man named Donald Miller, and he runs a business called Story Brand. He has a podcast and he has this book, he has an online course, all about how to clarify your message so customers will listen. So basically, he guides you through the process of making your company's message, which is what you're communicating to your customers, into something clear and very persuasive. Because if your prospective customers don't understand what you do, or they don't feel persuaded that you will actually be able to help them, then they're not going to hire you. But Donald Miller helped me get that all straightened out with this book and with his podcast as well. The next book I have here is called Play Bigger. This is one of the most recent books that I read, and I thought that it was really interesting, and it was also a lot more of a fun and enjoyable read than a lot of the books on this stack. There are 4 different people's names on the cover listed as authors. However, they explain in the book that 3 of them actually run a marketing agency, and then the 4th man listed on the cover is a writer who decided to team up with this marketing agency to capture their strategies on the written page. Now, basically what this book is about category design. And let me explain a little bit about what that means. Every business is in some sort of category. Maybe they're in the hospitality industry or the technology industry, but more likely they're in a much more specific industry than that. Not just the technology industry, but the smartphone industry. Maybe even smartphones for a particular type of consumer. Not just hospitality, but maybe they're in the hotel industry. Not just the transportation industry, but maybe specifically the category taxis or maybe the category ride sharing. And then in any of those more specific, those micro categories, there often is what is called category king. So for example, in the category of ride sharing companies, there is a category king, and that would be Uber. Now, the basic concept of this book is that if you design your own unique category, then you can position yourself as the category king. The company that whenever someone thinks of that industry or thinks of that problem that that industry solves, they immediately think of your company as the company that they would choose. This is the case for companies like Amazon, Airbnb, Uber, Apple, Kleenex, Tupperware, and KitchenAid. When you think of those brands, you think of specific products that solve specific problems. And basically, this book shows you how to define your own category and position your company as the category king. Next up is a book that I swore I would never buy. Okay, so maybe I didn't swear I would never buy it, but it was the last thing on my list of books that I might buy and read. It's this book right here. It's called Dotcom Secrets. It's by Russel Brunson. I didn't know anything about Russel Brunson except that he was always popping up in my feed on Facebook with really, really annoying ads that I really, really did not like. And he was promoting this book. And I thought that it was a total scam and that it was very sleazy and that I was definitely not going to buy his free just pay shipping book. Fast forward several months, I'm browsing on Amazon looking for a book to read, and I see this book on Amazon, and I notice that it has a couple thousand reviews and that it's rated really well. And this really surprised me because I was expecting it to be a terrible book that was just a marketing front just for him to maybe make a little bit of money on the shipping and handling and grow his email list in the process. So I was really curious. I read through the reviews, and a lot of people said really good things about it. Obviously, I ended up buying it. I read it. It is really good. Russel Brunson knows a lot about modern digital marketing, especially about funnels, how to transform traffic into actual sales for your company. He also talks a lot about how to actually get the traffic. So if you need help with the marketing of your business and you are working on marketing your business online, if you're trying to grow your email list, if you're trying to generate sales with email marketing, read this book. It is the best book I've ever read on this topic with the most advanced strategies that I've ever encountered in a book or just about anywhere on the internet. Highly, highly recommend. All right, we are getting towards the end here. This is one of the first business books that I ever read. It's called The Personal MBA, Master the Art of Business. And basically, it teaches you everything that you would learn if you actually went to business school and got your MBA, only it costs something like $15 instead of however much getting your MBA would actually cost. Now, the thing about this book and the thing about getting your MBA is it is all head knowledge. If you read this book, you'll know these things, but you won't really know how to actually put them in practice in the real world. And like I said, that's exactly what happens when you get your MBA also. Now, of course, actually getting your MBA does have some big advantages when you actually talk out these ideas with other people. That helps them to sink into your brain better so that you understand them more fully than if you just read them over the course of a few days in a book. However, this is much more digestible, and if you don't want to subject yourself to business school, then this can be a good way to get a lot of the benefits at a fraction of the price and with a fraction of the time investment. Okay, let's move on. This is book number 7 on my list. It is called Good to Great. It is by a man named Jim Collins. Its subtitle is Why Some Companies Make the Leap and Others Don't. Basically, Jim Collins and his research team did an extensive research project to analyze hundreds of different companies and find the few that went from being very average companies to significantly outperforming the stock market for a number of years. And they ended up finding only a handful of companies that met their very stringent criteria. And in this book, they share all of the reasons why they had discovered that those companies were able to go from good to great and how you can use those same ideas in your own business to help your own business grow and become a very successful, long-lasting business. All right, so that is 7 business books. I want to share one more book with you. This is my bonus share. It's not exactly a business book, which is why it's not just a list of 8 books. This is The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'm sure you've heard of this book before, but maybe you haven't read it. If not, I highly, highly recommend. The reason that I've tacked it onto the end of this video is because even though it is not actually a business book, it can really help you successfully grow your business because it will show you how to become the person that you need to be in order to build a successful business. You can't build a successful business if you aren't being proactive, if you aren't thinking long term, if you aren't being diligent, if you don't have good time management skills. And this book teaches you how to develop those and many other positive character traits that can help you with your business building, but also with your entire life. I would highly, highly recommend every single one of these books in this stack here. They are worth your time and they are definitely worth the money. If you implement just one thing from each of these books, then you will far more than recoup your monetary investment in them. And I think that you will see a lot of positive changes in your life, specifically in terms of your business growth. So that was a lot of words. But now I would love to hear from you guys. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what the best business book you've ever read is, or if you don't normally read business books, then share another book recommendation because I am always looking for more great books to read because I read a lot of books myself, and so I would really appreciate your suggestions. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you haven't already subscribed, then hit that red subscribe button down below so that you do not miss my next video. I make 2 videos here on YouTube every single week all about entrepreneurship, success, and personal development, and I would love to have you join us for the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.
You're a rebel, getting into trouble. You are kind of